Okay, so today we're on this 2009 Targa 44 GT, which confusingly doesn't mean it's got glass doors, but some of the newer ones had glass doors. Now, you join me today in our lovely workshop. So you can have a little pan round, Dan. We've got a Halberg Rassi there, we've got a Princess 49 there, and then finally we've got a Targa 44. And this is where we prepare our boats before they go out the door. So today, in this video, I'm going to tell you all about the 44 GT, a bit about its history, a bit about this boat. I'm then going to tell you at the end all the costs of buying it, insuring it, running it, servicing it. And I'm going to give you my JB's measure of pleasure score at the end, which is all written down here, because it takes me a long time to work it all out. So please excuse the noises in this shed and let's get cracking. Now, a few of you will be very pleased to know that today I've turned my microphone on and I've connected it to the phone. So you can hear me. See? So you'll be no excuses about you saying, oh, James, you haven't turned your mic and all the rest of it. I am guilty of all that stuff, but it's all fixed. So, we actually sold this boat new in 2009. The Fairline Targa 44 GT came out in 2007 and it ran till about 2011. So that's quite a short product life. So what is that? Is that 4 years? 4 years? 4 or 5 years? Not long. Most boat manufacturers tend to run a model for 6 years, but this one only ran for 4 or 5. And I don't know why they stopped making it, because actually it's a really good boat, as I'll show you. So let's start by telling you about the back of the boat and the platform. Okay, so it looks like it's got a high-low platform because it's so big. Look how big it is. It's really big, isn't it, Dan? But it's not, because this was pre-high-low platforms. So this platform here is for your tender, and this thingy-majig is called a passerelle, but it also doubles as a crane. So you press a button in the cockpit. You want to show them, James? How does it work? Yeah. All right. You press this thing. You've pressed this thingy-majig, and look, it goes up, and that erection lifts up your tender. And if I press another button, oh, it doesn't work. No. Doesn't. Okay, let's go down again. Anyway, so that lifts your tender on and off the platform, and it's a really nice option, but it should be because it costs you £15,000. And at the back of the boat here, while we're just at the back, this is the sunbathing area, and this backrest goes down, up and down electrically. But later models, it was manual because they used to go wrong a little bit. So come on board. So this is the cockpit, and it's massive. I'm big, but this is much bigger. Look at the size here. You could seat 3 people there, 3 there. It's a lot of space. And also they made this lovely little bottle fridge here with that plate. See that plate? That plate cools it. So you can put champagne and wine or water, if that's what you're into, in there. As I said, this goes down electrically and makes into a sun pad, or you can have it as a seat facing either way. Coming into the rest of the cockpit, Fairline wanted to break up the white, which can be overpowering, so they made the cockpit barbecue out of teak. It's actually a teak veneer, and when the boats get to this age, they start to look a little bit shabby, so we have to replace these quite often. This one's not in too bad condition. You've got the barbecue and sink, and you've got the ice maker, which is a waste of time, as you know, and a fridge, which isn't a waste of time. And I like the cup holders because they're all wood too. You've also got music up there. Can you see those, Dan? You've got music. And you've got these lovely skylights here, and it is a proper hard top. So when you press the button back, an airbag deflates, the airbag seals it, and then it's not an airbag for crashing. And then the GRP hardtop comes back, excuse me, and goes over the roof. But there's really, really good design. Now, not many people know this, but the track that holds the roof is made by, or was made by, Lola Engineering, the F1 team, and they're pretty good. But when they get to this age, if they need new track parts, get ready for a £5,000 bill, because the parts can be quite expensive. The roof is good, but bear in mind this is a 2009 boat, so these parts can start to go. So allow around £5,000 if this one doesn't work. And Dan, does this one work?
No.
So we've got to fix it.
It's the rollers.
Luckily, so that's not £5,000. If it's just the rollers, you can get away with a few hundred, but if it needs the whole track doing, it's £5,000. So come and join me at the helm. Okay, so we've got the lower, well, not the lower, this is the only helm. We haven't got a flybridge on this one. So this is the helm position, and it's really comfortable. And look, like I say, I'm quite big, and I've got loads of room. You've also got this step, Dan. Can you see the step? And
What's the step for?
the step is if you are slightly shorter than normal, and you want to look over the bow, you open the roof, and you get your eyes over this beam here, Dan. Look at this beam. There. But actually, it's really useful for shouting out. So let's have a try if we can. Ah, the roof doesn't work. Oh, it's trying to do something. No. And by the way, if in the video it looks like these lights are flashing because of the camera, they are flashing, but it's not because of the camera. It's actually flashing because we've got a fault which we're fixing. Now, this was to do with the roof. The roof and the lights are on the same circuit. You're turning into a bit of an engineer, aren't you, sweetheart? Yeah. Now, this boat doesn't have a shout window, so we can't demonstrate it here, and I can't demonstrate it out the roof because the roof doesn't work, so we'll have to demonstrate it out the back. Now, because it's our workshop, it doesn't matter how much I shout. Oi, get the fenders in! Look at the size of the shout window, it's absolutely huge. So let's go down below. Okay, before we go downstairs, I'm really disappointed to tell you I've got really boring socks on. I've worn out all the other ones, but Dan, I've just noticed actually your socks are better. What you got there? You got green, like green stripes. They're not silly, but they're better than mine today. Right, so in here you've got the poo gauge and the fresh water tank, and that pumps it out. So you have got a valve in the bottom of the boat, you press that to empty the black tank, and the gauge is there, and it's a Weimer gauge, and they're quite good. So let's go down below. So come on down, we'll come on down in a second, but the quality of the boat can't be underestimated. Bearing in mind this is 2009, so we're what, 12, 13 years old. This boat still looks great. We need to do a little bit of tinkering. Oh, by the way, this boat sold in
2009?
Yeah, no, 24 hours.
Oh, yes, it did.
Yeah, it sold in 24 hours. So it's in the workshop because we're getting ready for the new owner, but we put it online and it sold in 24 hours. So it just shows you how popular used Fairlines are. But you've got a lovely galley. Can you see the galley down? We've got the microwave oven combi and the hob. We've got the fridge here. These are all the cupboards. That's the control panel. The boat does have a generator, which actually on the first models, including this model, it was standard. So it was quite a nice feature. Actually, I remember selling these new, and they were 480 grand new, and they're selling now for around 200-ish. Loads of storage here for bits and pieces. You've got the twin sinks. This doubles as a chopping board, and actually, that's really clean for that age. Now, you've also got a small dining table which can go down on this substantial leg to be a coffee table, and the TV is here. And obviously, because it's such an older boat, the TV is tiny. It's similar to my phone screen, to be fair, but this is what you had in 2009. Now, the engineers are working on this boat at the moment, and they're changing some light bulbs, changing some speakers, etc. And I was going to put the ceiling panels back up, but I thought, you know what, I'm not going to, because I'm going to show you behind the scenes. So if you have a look here, Dan, don't zoom in too much, but Fairline put a GRP, you see that's GRP, in a liner, which not all manufacturers do. And then you've got some wood inserts which hold the Velcro, which holds the panel up, because you do need to get to these panels. And there's no other better way to do it than Velcro, believe it or not. But if you then look up here, Dan, you can see the wiper motor. And you can also see all the GRP, it's all smooth, I can rub my hand on it. So when you buy a Fairline, whether it's a used or a new one, you are buying a very, very high quality boat behind the scenes. And that is, I think that's to do with the gyro, isn't it? To do with the GPS compass, yeah. So, and we've got lovely wooden blinds, which I remember are quite an option. I think they were £1,200 option in the day. And that's the air conditioned vent. And we're just changing that plug socket, so ignore that. So let's go and look at the master cabin. So this is the master cabin. And if you come in, you'll see it's at the front of the boat. And it's got plenty of room. Look, I'm 6'1", 18 stone. And can I fit on there? Is that fitting? Just, all right. So assuming your wife is, or partner is smaller than me, you'll be absolutely fine. You've got these lovely little trinket boxes next to the bed. And look at the condition of that. That's still, look, with a stainless ring, it's still beautifully made. Wooden blinds, air conditioned vent, more storage. That's the air conditioned controller there. The wall coverings are original and still in great shape. Another trinket box there. The only thing I would say in here, Dan, hasn't got any reading lights. Because if I want to read at night, I'd like one of those little bendy things. Now let's see if it passes the phone charge test. Where's the phone socket?
Do you read at night?
Yeah, I do. Do you?
No.
Don't you?
No. Your phone's really lit up.
No, it's very important to read at night, a book, because it then rests your brain. Okay. Didn't you know that? No. I can't see the phone charger. Oh, this might be another negative. No, see, in 2009, did people have mobile phones? Okay, I can't see a phone charger. Oh, there it is, down there. So in 2009, no one cared about you charging your phone by your bed. So that is a bad thing, because I like my power socket for my phone to be on my side of the bed. This is my side of the bed. And she likes hers to be on her side. So you might want to put one of those in. But while we're over here, I'll show you the wardrobe. You've got a lovely mirror with a lovely wardrobe. And shall I tell you something else about quality?
Yes.
See this mirror? What do you notice about it?
It's straight.
Yeah, it's straight, but do you notice the corners haven't all gone? You know, on some boats I show you them and all the silvers come off. But look, this mirror is such a quality mirror, it still looks like brand new. So that's not bad, is it? It is. Right. Now, if you go around there, this is the Jack and Jill. I think it's Jack and Jill. It is. Yeah.
Wrong door.
No, I'm just checking. No. Sorry, this is just your ensuite. So let's go and look in the ensuite. Okay, so this is the. Let's turn that. Where's that fan? Oh, there. Oh, that's better. This is the master cabin ensuite. So you've got the circular shower, and you've got the sink and the toilet. And Fairline cleverly put this little lid on top so that when you're not on the toilet, you can use this for all your other toiletries. Now I know what you're thinking. Does it pass the floss test? Well, with the door, let's get in the shower. The shower is actually remarkably big. It looks small, but actually it's big. See, I can get in here and I've got plenty of room for turning around. Now I cannot floss in here, but I can floss here and here. So it does, it's quite echoey in here. It does pass the floss test. And do you know what I like about this cabin? Sorry, not cabin, this bathroom. It's got a little towel hanger here.
It's a big towel you'd have though.
A big towel.
Little hook.
And you've got another one there, look. Another towel one there. And you've got compartments over here. And that's the extractor fan, which is really noisy. So let's look at the other cabin. So at the aft of the saloon, you've got your day head door access. And if you come in here, Dan, it's pretty much the same as the other one. It actually doesn't smell in here as well, which is good. And yeah, it's pretty much the same as the other one. It's really nice. It's got a lovely mirror, big towel rail, and I'm not going to go around there because it's a bit tight, but here is your aft cabin, which is quite big for a 44-foot boat. So come and join me. That's the door to the ensuite. If you're in this cabin at night, you shut that door, and then you go to the toilet in this one. Didn't you know that?
No, I was just asking.
Oh,
You missed it.
Okay. Right, so in here, I'm not going to film the back of it because, what have you done there, mate? Got your funny bone. So here, you've got 2 single beds which slide apart and slide together to make a double. You've got a little window over there. You've got a little chest of drawers with all the manuals for the Raymarine. And they squeezed in, Dan, look, a wardrobe which has got there the infill cushions for the table in the saloon, so you can sleep another, well, you wouldn't want to, would you?
A single.
You can sleep out there in the saloon if you put the table down and put these cushions in. These cushions normally go missing, so that's good. And it's, look, it's got a little Fairline crest on it. Can you see it? Little Fairline crest. That wardrobe's nice. And then you've got some more storage here. Oh, Dan, look at this, look. All the paperwork. All the owner's manuals, look.
Rare.
That's rare, that's good. Normally people take those home and then we never see them again. So, and you've got a little dinky window there. Now I'll tell you what, if you go up there, I'll just show you how that little window works. You go upstairs, yeah? Dan, this is the little shout window here.
Give us a shout, then.
Get the feathers in!
No.
Look, this gives you a little bit of air. It's nice, isn't it? Right, I'll see you in a second. Oh! I caught my back on the door handle. Let's show everyone the engines. When you look at the engines on these, you must remember, Dan, to put the table this way round, because then it opens the biggest. So let's press the button. Oh, it's the wrong one. Oh, no, that one. Now this boat is fitted with the IPS 435s, which is called the IPS 600, but it's 435 horsepower. Is that correct? You said no. They're IPS 600s, which are 435 horse. And they also... 6. Are they? Oh, no. Oh. Well, I think they're 6. They're D6s, aren't they? They're D6. They're 6 litres. Now, it's quite dark, so I'm not going to go really down there, but you've got twin IPS 600s. You can have this boat with IPS 500s, which is 370 horsepower each. There's not much difference in performance, because most people cruise at 20 knots anyway, probably 2 or 3 knots. But yeah, they came in 2 different configurations, and the generator is under there. Can you see that? Generator is there, and the engines are there. I mean, to be honest, it's very clean and tidy. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's quite snug. It's in good condition. So I can't be bothered to go down there today, so I'm not going to bother with that, because I want to get on to all the costs, because I know you all like to know the costs. So let's put that down, and we'll have a little chat about what this boat is going to cost you to run, to buy it, etc. Because I think you'll be quite surprised. It's actually quite economical as things go. You right, Tom? Yeah, good. No swearing. Right, okay, so let's do the costs. So here are the costs for a 2009 Fairline Targa 44 GT, and we'll put these on the screen as usual. So this boat currently is worth £210,000. if you were buying it on finance, they would need a 30% deposit, which is about £63,000. The finance, therefore, would be 147,000 advance. That's how much they would lend you. And those payments would cost you about £1,500 per month, approximately, for a 10-year straight line repayment, which is, the finance per year is £18,000 per annum. So £1,500 a month for a lovely boat like this, I don't think it's too bad. Maybe you think it is a lot. I don't think it is for a boat of this quality. Fuel. Okay, so we're going to do our standard 20 knot speed, which we'll put on the screen. The fuel burn is approximately 100 litres per hour at that speed from the twin engines. The fuel price, it's October 22, is £1.75 per litre in the UK. I haven't got a clue what it is in dollars. I know some of you do ask me, but I don't know. I think it's cheaper in America, isn't it? I think fuel's cheaper. So this burns £175 per hour of fuel. The average person uses a boat like this for 50 hours per year. So your fuel cost per annum is currently £8,750 per year, which, again, I don't think it's too bad for a boat this big. Do you, Dan?
No.
So, it's not too bad. Let's move on to the fixed costs. Fixed costs. Okay, so this is for the UK. This boat will cost you approximately £12,000 per annum to moor on the south coast. Just approximately. You might get one at 8, you might get one at 13 or 14, but £12,000 per annum is about right. Servicing. Well, there's 2 engines, there's 2 IPS drives, and there's a generator. So really there's 5 bits of engineering which need servicing. So because of that, the servicing can be quite dear. So I would allow for £8,000 per annum because the IPS drives need maintenance each year. Additional maintenance, anti-fouling, polishing, bits of wear and tear that you fix, I would allow about £4,000 per year. Insurance is a very reasonable £2,500, and that gives you a total of £26,500 per annum, which actually is a bit more expensive than you might think, and that's because of the IPS drives and the generator. Okay, so let's move on to variable costs. So depreciation, well, these were 480,000 new. We're now 12, 13 years later, they're fetching about 200,000-ish. So over that period of time, they've lost a fair bit, but it's a long period of time. But the good news is that over the last few years, they've stabled out about this price. Now, I think if you bought one in 2022 for about 210,000, I would put your depreciation at about £5,000 to £10,000. You could even get your money back. It's coming to that age where you could buy it, use it for a year, and lose nothing. But let's call it 5,000. I've done the fuel cost, which is 8,750 for 50 hours. I've done the finance cost, which is £18,000 per annum if you're borrowing the money. And that gives you a total variable cost. They're noisy, aren't they? What are they doing? They said they wouldn't make any noise, which gives you a total of £31,750. So let's give it the JB scores. Right, so here are the JB scores. But before I give you the scores, please, please, please press subscribe and the like button if you're enjoying these videos. If you do comment, we try and reply to every single one, so long as it's not silly. If it's silly or rude, then I just press the delete button. But if you ask sensible questions, I'll try and answer them for you. Most people ask sensible questions. So accommodation, well, I think a 2-cabin, 2 heads, 44-foot boat is quite good, and it's got loads of space. So I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. Style, it's a pretty funky looking boat. We'll put a running shot of a Targa 44 on the screen now so you can see how she looks. I think the boat is dated very, very well. So I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 for style. Because this kind of roof line, Dan, this kind of roof line doesn't really go out of fashion, does it? Fun. Now, this boat will do 30 knots. So in terms of fun, and it will throw, you can throw it around quite a bit. So the IPS, as you know, has got the joystick. There it is. I was wondering where the joystick was. Joystick's up here. So that's installed for people that can't drive, or if you're new to driving boats. Yeah, is that right? Yeah.
Well, not exactly.
Oh, okay. Well,
So if you didn't have a bow thruster,
has it got a bow thruster?
the IPS might be very handy, right?
It hasn't got a bow thruster. Okay. So anyway,
So it's not necessarily for people that can't drive.
Ah.
It
makes driving easier.
That's correct.
Makes it driving easier. Running costs, well, they're a little bit higher because the IPS, as I explained, so I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 for running costs. Quality, well, I think this period of Fairline's building was their golden period. And let me just say, I think the last 2 years and moving forward is their next golden period. There are some periods where the boats weren't quite as good as this, but this boat is 10 out of 10 quality. Like the Targa 47s of the same age, Targa 52s, Squadrons. You'd agree with me, you're nodding, aren't you, Dan?
Yep.
The quality is the best, 10 out of 10. So that gives us a score of 43 out of 50, which gives it a JB's measure of pleasure score of 86%, which is very, very high. And remember, 44 foot, £210,000. It's a lot of boat for your money. And if you do see one, be quick because they sell very, very quickly. Oi, can you just be quiet a minute? Brandon. Yeah, can you just be quiet a minute? I only got to finish 2 more minutes, son. That trolley jack is so noisy, and I can't remember the last time a boat needed a trolley jack. Dan, look, I found him. He's fixing his car. Look, you shouldn't be doing that in work time, should he?